Hi everybody, Mrs. Berry here with Max and Gronk. Where's Max, Gronk? What? He's what? Max, what are you doing back there? Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to fall. You have to be a little bit more careful. Yeah, those things can be dangerous up high like that. Yeah. Okay, so we're here to talk about drawing a person today from head to toe. And we didn't get to do that in kindergarten last year because of a shortened year. So we're going to go through it slowly together today for kind of a review because we've done it, I think, once last year, but we did it at Christmas time, but we didn't get to do it a lot. So I'm going to review it with you today. We probably won't get all the way done, about halfway, and then we'll finish up next time. So anybody out there, you guys be good listeners, okay? Anybody out there know what shape our head is? What'd you guys hear? Oh, you heard circle? Not circles, remember? It's something else. Gronk, what'd you hear? Somebody said oval. Good. A flattened sides so our head doesn't roll around at night. We have flattened sides and more round top and bottom. If you look at Gronk's head, he's for sure got an oval head, right? Flat, round around the top and bottom. So on our sheet of paper, so hopefully everybody has a sheet of paper and a pencil. I'm going to use marker just so you can see. We're going to draw an oval at the top in the middle of our page. Top, middle, nice and big. Don't make it too small or you won't have any room for details on the head. Now we're going to come back for the details on the head, okay? So we're not going to do that right off this time. Next step, neck. Remember, our head has a skull. There's a thick bone that protects our brain. And because of that, our neck is fairly thick. If we had a really skinny neck, our head would flop around. So remember, two lines down, not too close together, okay, so that you can hold your head up. Okay, next step. What's next? Max, I know you don't have a neck, but what comes after? Oh, good, shoulders. Good. Now, remember, our body is thicker than our heads, so we have to make sure that our shoulders, which also slant, remember how they slant slightly, are fairly long, because we want to make sure that we end up with a body that is bigger than our head. So fairly long. When you get done, if you don't think they're long enough, you can add a little bit on the ends like that. What is attached to our shoulders? Arms. Good job. Our arms are next. We're going to just draw straight down arms for today. We'll be bending them and doing other things next time we draw a person. But for today, just for our review, we're going to do straight down. Now, if you remember, when you stand up, everybody stand up. When you stand up, your hands hit the top of your legs. So we have extremely long arms, If we had short ones, you couldn't hug your favorite people. So keep that in mind. We want nice long ones. Starting here on the shoulder, that's where our arms are. We're going to draw a nice long line down. And for this arm, we have to go in towards the body, in. And when we draw our line back up, we want to make sure we stop before we hit that shoulder line because our arms are attached to our body. So remember that. Make sure that you have a long arm, that you draw your line going back in, and that you stop before you hit your shoulders. Okay, do that. And remember, you can pause this video anytime you want if I'm going too fast, okay? Now we're going to go over on the other side, and you're going to do the same thing. You want to make them about the same length so you can take a good look and see. And then you're going to go over and then again up. And we'll come back to adding the body when we get done with the hands. Okay. I'm going to change colors just so you can see we're doing our hands. Now our hands have a bunch of different parts. The first part is our palm. The round part of our hand that makes all the noise when we clap. Okay, so we're going to make our palms right here. Then we're going to add our thumb and our forefingers. Now remember, our thumb is not near our other four fingers. Our thumb is the neighbor down the street. The four fingers live in a house together. The thumb is at the top down the street. So up here on this side, and they point in towards our body. We're going to do an oval that's a little skinny, and we're going to do the same thing here. So our thumbs are pointing in towards our body. When we look at our hands, we have a nice long finger, a longer finger, these two about match, and then we have our little pinky, right? And they're going to be pointing down. So we're going to do a fairly long finger. Then we're going to do a longer finger, and again, we're going to round the tips, but make them long and skinny. Don't make them short and fat. And then our third one is going to be the same as our first one, and then we have our little pinky. So we have our four fingers, and we're going to repeat that on the other side. Again, you can pause anytime you want. So we're going to do a fairly long one, a longer one, another long one, and then a tiny one. That's our pinky. So all together, when you get done, you should count. How many fingers? 10. Good. Good job about that. How many do you have, Max? Max only has 4. Wild Things only have 4. Very good. All right. Now, body. We're going to go back here, and we're going to add our lines just coming out of where the arms are. I am not drawing a big U, because if you look at your body, your arms are down by your sides. They're not like this, correct? So keep that in mind. So I've drawn my lines down, and we know our hands are fairly long down there. So we're going to draw a line across before we get to the hands. Okay? Now, let's talk about shirts before we go on. You may do a V-neck if you want. You could do a U-neck for the collar, but remember we have to have a collar. And then you're going to draw, well, right now it's warm out, so maybe you want short sleeves on. That's up to you. And you can come back when we have time, and you can decorate it however you want. That's up to you. That'll be at the very end. I'm just showing you that you're going to have time to do that right now. Or not, later on, not right now. Okay, pants. So we have to have hips. That's where our pockets are, where our legs attach to our body. So we draw our 2 lines coming down from our body. And remember, we have extremely long legs. It's really hard to touch your toes because we have extremely long legs. So bend over, try to touch your toes. See how long those are? Yeah, very long legs. So we're going to draw a very long line down. And I'm going to make sure I have room for my shoes, right? I'm going to draw a line over. And then I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to actually start where the hips are, so I know where the hips. So I know that I don't draw my line where my hips are. So I start in the middle, and I just drew a line back down. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to draw a line down. I'm going to draw a line over. And again, just like our arms, there's no big U between our legs. So I'm going to start with that one, and I'm going to draw a line down. So I have 2 legs. Hopefully same length. Mine are slightly off. Okay? And then finally, before we go back and add details on our head and our background and the body, we're going to draw our toes. Now remember, we do not walk like a duck. So make sure you have your toes pointing forward. Our top of our shoe, if you look right now, is round. So we draw our heel. And then we're going to do that for the other shoe. And then the bottom of our shoe is thick, so that if I step on a tack in the hall, it doesn't go through. That's called the sole. So remember that word, the sole. We've talked about that before. The sole of our shoe. We're going to draw that on with the rectangle. And that's it for today. Do you guys have anything to add? Not today. We're going to pick it up next time with the details on the face, the clothes, and the background. And I will see you then. Everybody say goodbye. Bye.